close attention because I'm only going to say this once.
Jackie Reed, inside her story.
From our New York studios up in Harlem, Jackie Reed goes inside her story. Good morning, Jackie.
Good morning, Tom. Good morning, Sybil. And good morning, Damon. Happy Friday, everybody. So without question, Black people love to travel. Just look at how many Black travel clubs and organizations exist, promising paying participants the trip of a lifetime. But based on a lawsuit and several formal complaints and an investigation by the state of North Carolina, one such travel company promised but failed miserably to deliver. The trip was called the Black Yacht Week, also promoted as Sail Noir and hosted by the Black Travel Movement. It was supposed to be a week-long sailing event in the British Virgin Islands, a week-long floating party. It was advertised with 15 to 25 yachts filled with beautiful black, brown, and beige people because it said, why should Europeans have all the fun? Well, this group of all shades of Black people allegedly did not have any fun either. According to my guest this morning, she and other customers complained of things like leaky boats, power outages that left some sleeping on the deck due to hot, humid rooms with no air conditioning and lack of food. The organizer of the trip, Reggie Cummings, told WUSA that he knows now that the trip was too ambitious, but he blames the company that supplied the yachts for the issues. The yacht company is suing Cummings, and he is countersuing the yacht company. Customers want refunds. I'm going inside her story with Jewel Pearson, who was one of those on the boats and created a Facebook page so she and other disappointed customers could post their experiences. She is also among several who filed a formal complaint with North Carolina's Consumer Protection Division. Good morning, Jewel.
Good morning.
So how much did you and others pay for this trip? And were there problems before you set sail?
So my group paid for a super premium yacht, so it cost $33.50, and of course that doesn't include our airfare and ferry travel. So I would probably say, the overall trip was upwards of almost $5,000
Per person,
and per person for the super premium, and then the regular yacht, I think it was just called the premium yacht, I think sold for like $2,500.
Wow.
And then you've got to add the airfare to that as well.
And I understand that there were problems even before you set sail. Tell us about that.
So there were communication problems, registration problems. There were issues with the website. People were trying to get information from Reggie on the trip, the details, and that wasn't being shared in a timely fashion. There were just several people who were concerned because we weren't hearing information as I was trying to reach out with some specifics for our group regarding a registration issue. It took me from July to October to get a follow-up from Reggie as well as to get it resolved. So kind of going into it, you knew that it wasn't the customer service issues and the professionalism was lacking. But as our group felt, we thought there was going to be a handoff at some point from the administrative pieces of it to be handed off to the yacht company who did this for a living. And so we kind of felt like then we'd be okay and everything should be, as I hate to say it, smooth sailing, but it actually wasn't.
Now, I mentioned leaky boats, power outages, inadequate food, but give us some more details. Paint a picture for people that are listening. Maybe you can rattle off a list of some of the issues that you and others, based on the Facebook page complaints, experienced.
So the recurring theme ended up being we made the best of it. And for our group, we were in a place of gratitude because we didn't have it as bad as others. Specifically, our yacht didn't have our food preferences for them. That was mainly our issue. We had some dietary restrictions. Vegan. We had a vegan on our boat. We had someone that was diabetic. Meal preferences had been given to Black Travel Movement months in advance of the trip, and when we got on the boat, information had not been communicated to the yacht company. So we were trying to scramble or pick around meals, and we just didn't have those preferences.
And the person that was diabetic, did they have any medical issues because of that?
Absolutely. When she got back, she was sick and was kind of down and out for almost a month. So, yeah.
Wow. Was your boat one of those where you all had to go and buy food for the ship?
Yes. we actually started buying food for the ship before we even took off. Our captain let us know right away that we didn't have what we were supposed to have on the yacht before we even sailed. And I reached out to Reggie on site to make him aware of it. He said he was headed to a meeting with the yacht crew and he'd get everything straightened out. When our captain came back, what he shared from that meeting was that Reggie told him that we'd pay for it. So at that point, he's ready to go and he's looking at us. So instead of still trying to sort it out with Reggie, we then went to the little store that was on property and got some, snacks. The person who was diabetic got some things that would work within her parameters. And, that kind of is how we started off. And I know that others did that as well.
This does sound like the black version of the Fire Festival.
I know. Wasn't there supposed to be like a chef on board, like a celebrity chef?
That's the way it was advertised. That's the way it was. Not a celebrity chef. It was advertised as a professional chef. And I don't want to throw our cook under the bus, but I would say she did the best that she could. What we realized was that most of us were eating food that had been left from previous excursions. So because the yacht company didn't have the information from Black Travel Movement, they were, I guess, providing us with what they had left over from purchases for previous excursions.
And they weren't aware.
I'm sorry.
They weren't aware of the promises that were made to you all. The crew, the captain and crew.
Yeah, because Reggie is the yacht company is suing Reggie, but Reggie is countersuing. He says it's the yacht company's fault. What's your take on that?
Based on what I've read, and again, this is my opinion, based on what I've read from the lawsuit, in my opinion, it's all on Black Travel Movement because they are suing for over $500,000. They've said they've only received $60,000 from Black Travel Movement, and I don't understand how any of what we were promised could have been taken care of with $60,000. So I feel like they've also said that they didn't receive. Seems like they had the same communication problems in working with Black Travel Movement as far as getting information from him related to our travel, our meal preferences, et cetera. I think they said they got the meal preference information a couple of weeks before we were set to sail, and we had given that information to Black Travel Movement months in advance. So in my opinion, there's no way to place the blame on Dream Yacht Charter if you haven't given them what they need to be successful. The fact that they even let us sail with a high balance due is interesting to me. I don't think it was in their best business interest, but I'm grateful that they did because the alternative to that would have been all of us stranded on a pier with, no option, and we are supposed to be there for 7 days.
Well, I think the lesson here is to listen to the semantics. European yacht and Reggie, that don't even go together.
I cannot with you. So wait, Jewel. Now you tried to
nothing about European yacht says
you
Reggie.
tried to post on the Black Travel Experiences Facebook page complaints, but they were taken down.
So early on in the planning, we had a separate group. I think everybody knows that there's limits to what you can post on the main Black Travel Movement page. That just kind of has been known from the beginning. There was a separate page, Sail Noir, for the travelers for 2019, and as I was trying to reach out to Reggie to get him to straighten out our registration issues, I'd make a post and it would sit for weeks and weeks and weeks. And people would come in and tag along on my post, and they would say the same thing. Hey, Reggie, I'm trying to get in touch with you, because that's what my post would say. Reggie, I'm trying to get in touch with you. I've called you. I've texted you. I've emailed you. Here, I'm trying to get in touch with you. So people were tagging on to my post and saying that as well. And then some people were getting upset. It's been X amount of weeks. I haven't heard from you. And then they get upset. And what would happen was their comment would disappear. And then I started getting inbox messages saying, I've been kicked out of the group, but have you heard from Reggie? And so then I started paying more attention to realize, like if you got an attitude or if you said something derogatory, then you were kicked out of this group and blocked.
Well, Joel,
I
let me
knew early on.
ask you this before we run out of time. Reggie has said that he is, or in an interview, he said that he is working on getting refunds to all of you all. Where does that stand? Have you heard from him as far as a refund is concerned?
We've not heard anything from him since July, and regarding refunds, we've not received refunds from him. And the other thing is he is denying people as they're seeking refunds from their bank. So, it's a double whammy for us.
Jackie, have you reached out to Reggie?
No, I have not, because he is not making a lot of comments because it's a legal issue. But I do want to make an offer to Reggie, anyone who knows him, to come on Inside Her Story and talk about his side of this. Would love to have him on to explain things and address this from his perspective. But Jewel, thank you. I hope everything works out for you and everyone involved.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Wow. I
There's
hate to hear
always the
stories like
fantastic
that.
voyage, ma'am.
Yeah, I hate to hear stories like that.
I do too.
Yeah.